Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday, July 15th, 2026. How is everybody? Just got a wicked notice that my keyboard is going to die here, so I got to plug this in. Let's get that done. There we go. Dustin, good morning. Good afternoon. Staying cool out there? I have to my left here, so hopefully it is not too noisy. I don't see any movement on the mixer. I've got a fan because the air conditioning is still not. It seems a little better today, but not. It's not where I have it set. Gabriel, halfway through the week. Yeah, right. Yeah, you don't hear the fan. Okay, good. Yeah, I turned it on low, but I brought it. This is the fan I have in my bedroom, and like Lisa's like, yeah, this isn't gonna work. So she ordered me a new fan, and so well, we'll just take the one from home, and we'll take that, bring that in every day, and bring it home. And Colin, hello. Russell, hello. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Maybe it was just too hot. It's better in here today, but I've also had a fan in front of me like all day, so. Um, um, is what it is. It's not like it was like last fall when we first moved in, and um, it wasn't working at all. Like it had disconnected from the head unit, and I was sweating. It was mid 80s. It was nuts. How have things been? It's been a while since you could pop in. Yeah, things have been good. Things have been good. Next time you get up this way, do stop in the shop. 450 channel point bonus. What's that for? What did I miss? Um, so yeah, it's things are coming along. We got a lot of things. I got a lot of irons in the fire. Ordered a lot of cool stuff this week. Oh, you got a 7-day stream streak. All right, nice. You planning it? You're thinking I'd come in early September at the least, at the latest. Well, let me know. Come early, come late, whatever. Bring some beer at the least and the latest. Great, yeah, yeah. Bring us. Let's have a beverage or something. This is no formal place here. Beverages of all types are welcome. So, we got over in YouTube. Hanani, 99 in Forest Hill. Heat index 104. Yeah, fun stuff, huh? Oof. You're down for that. Great. Yeah, let me know and I'll make sure I got something here. And if you want to bring something, we can have a couple. Why not? Take a break and walk into the refrigerator. Yeah, I got like a little guy. So if you got a big walk-in refrigerator, that's nice, huh? All right. I had a fun morning this morning. Let's see who's in the chat over here on Twitch. Couple that'll be your monthly normal in one day. Yeah, I've cut back a lot. I enjoy a nice cold beverage with friends, but there's a number of reasons. I've cut back. Not the least of which is, it gets expensive to keep the fridge stocked with beer all the time or whatever. Um, and I'm trying to lose some weight, and not having alcohol around really kind of seems to help. And I'm trying to get better sleep, and not having alcohol around kind of seems to help. But every once in a while, I get together with my buddies and we have a beverage or two or three, and and that's just fun. It's just fun. It's not an everyday thing, and so there it is. You're also in thoughts regarding Pelican Hub. Getting some friends and coworkers near me into our local one. Also need to give more ink samples. Yeah, totally regarding sleep and all and alcohol. For me, it's if I can even use it before it expires. Yeah, I mean, I got a good friend of mine gave me a gift certificate the other day, and we went to Lisa and I went to Total Wine and got some beer, and she got some wine, and we got a couple extra, and that was great for a week. But she offered to get me some beer today, and I was like, I'll save it. I'll save it for special occasions. Special occasions. Anyway, all right. You can bring Maker's Mark. Total Wine goodness. Yeah, I know, right? Because they're one of two places in Appleton that has the one beer that I really, really enjoy, which is the Tangerine Cream Ale, which for some people probably sounds really gross, but it is just really refreshing. It's really, really great. And you can only get it at Total Wine and like one of my local grocery stores that actually is on this side of town, but that's it. You're gonna bring Maker's Mark, but you're not gonna wear the cycling shorts, right? We already determined that. None of those funny biking shorts to the party. Anyway, true. I got a surprise today. I've been waiting for 2 weeks, and I mentioned this before. This is part of the. I won't go too deep into this, and I'll wait till our Gary shows up on the YouTube side. But like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, I won this auction in the Netherlands for a group of vintage 1951, 1955 cycling photographs, and it's a huge stack. It's 185 photographs, original photographs, which is a weird little thing that I collect. It's a very specific collection because I had to because they're almost impossible to find. And that means I'm not always spending money on it. You can buy prints and stuff, but originals, they're not out there. Well, anyway, I bought this lot, and they said, well, it could take up to 3 weeks. Check your spam filters, and we'll send you tracking. Well, I've been checking every day, multiple times a day. I'm like, well, it was July 1st. It's the 10th. It's the 12th. It's the 15th. They just showed up today. It just showed up. They are beyond my wildest imagination. They're just fantastic. Every single, I didn't actually count, but I suppose there's 184. Every single one is actually marked and labeled, most of them with a summary of the events of the day, which stage, what date, location, people in the photograph. Really pretty fantastic stuff. So, but I know Gary's a big cyclist, so once he gets on, he usually comes on pretty early. I've got him over here. A quick show off a couple of them. They're mind blowing. They're really cool, really cool. So, you found a couple at your local baseball, softball place for your local teams. You'll get names and message me. Awesome dedication. They have all that labeled and with that many details. Yes. And my understanding based on the auction was that some of them were marked. And then the rest we were just like, good luck. It was maybe taken every single one. Now there's a couple of like candid shots like on rest days or before whatever, that weren't actual taken during they're all Tour de France, that weren't actually during the race, but all the ones that are during the race, which is like 95% of them, tell you which stage, and then to further pinpoint, because there's a few that aren't actually marked to us which year, it will tell you the beginning and end town. And so you can look that up, because I have a guide that shows me every from 1903 on to 2000 and whatever, beginning and start town. So you can say, oh, the 13th stage was Poda whatever, and you go, okay, well that didn't happen in 51, that was 52 or whatever, and you can look it up, and it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. There's so much history there that has just gone in the ether, and it's not akin to not really different than fountain pen ephemera. Ephemera is just really. Now I got another book to write. Yeah, I mean, and my understanding was this was 51 through 55, but it's like mostly 51 and some 55, and it doesn't appear that there's any 52, 53, or 54 Tour de France in there. It's 51 and a little bit of 55. But every picture is marked. So you have some kind of idea. And with a little bit of research, we can kind of maybe piece together what's going on. So it's pretty cool. We'll show it off a little bit later, just for fun. It's a cool little historical thing. Whether you're into cycling or not, the photography is some of it is just amazing. It's just amazing, and and shot with a film camera back then, so much better than some of the stuff that there is now. It really is. The good beers and ciders you'll be heading to one of the games tonight. Assume most of them are local brews. Yeah. Yeah, I'm good. I'm down for just about anything. One of your coworkers was talking about Parker yesterday. Mentioned that you have been reading that book. Which one? The Parker Icons book? It's a great book. Oh, I got a lot of books lately, so I'm having a hard time kind of piecing them all together. Mont Blanc of Denmark. I got a book on Schaefer. I got a Walla Eversharp book. A Parker Icons book. I got the Conklin book, which is super, really. I love it. I wish I wouldn't got it, because now I want every Conklin. And I have like a couple of Conklins. The Parker one I had on Christmas. Yes. The Parker Icons looks fantastic. It's really, really great. But I've got a couple of Conklins in a case. And I keep looking at them going, I could widen my collecting focus a little bit. It doesn't have to be all hard rubber. There's like 2 that are really nice. So somebody please buy them now. 3. Because I just did a hard rubber Endura yesterday. It's great. It's a really super pen. But we'll go slow. I like crescents. I like to be able to focus. Someone should write a book about Esther McDuff. Says, hey, can I tell you something? And it doesn't leave this group here. Addressing that issue, a book, writing, doing stuff. That's all it is. Yeah, I like to, I'm going to jump back to finish my previous statement. But yeah, I like to really kind of have a really very, very narrow focus. I think it makes it more interesting. And every once in a while, so you have these, this is what I'm going to collect for this particular brand or this era or this whatever. And then every once in a while you get like a really interesting piece that's like over here. And you go, okay, that's cool. I'll take that. But I'm not going to collect all of those. I'm going to collect these, and then very interesting pieces. This is kind of how I approach Parker. Parker's like Lucky Curve and before. But then, a couple of, you got to have a Duofold Senior. You got to have a pre-duo, also, so a Jade pre-Duofold Lucky Curve is a Lucky Curve, so that fits into the thing, I think you got to have a Mandarin. A Patrician, one of those wouldn't be so bad. You sample a lot of Parkers, but you collect 45s. A completist, yeah. Yeah. Because, well, I mean, I won't say you can't. You can. Because there are some prototypes and things like that that make that completist part difficult. But, yeah, sampling is a good word. Yeah, I like to have like a, like a Tom Tree and Conklin. It's like Crescents. Oh, that's kind of a cool pen. I'll keep that one. Oh, first year lever filler? Yeah, I'll keep that one. That's cool. So anyway, Esterbrook. So I'm just gonna say it here, and there's no expectation here, and I've been talking about this for a long time. 15 years probably. And I go through these cycles. Yeah, we're going to do this. No, we're not going to do this. Yeah, we're going to do this. No, I don't have time. We're going to do this. No, we got something else going on. So I stumbled across yesterday. I had this brainchild, this thought. And I said, well, Lisa and I wanted to write a book on Esterbrook. Not going to happen. And then the second edition of the Hoban book came out, and we said, you know what, I don't want to step on Paul's toes. And Paul's a great guy. And actually, I have to call him. I have to call him. I haven't spoken with him in a month, at least. And then the book came out, and we were kind of like, it's not what I thought it was going to be, and it's not what I would have done. I'm not going to write a book. I'm not going to do that. I'm not there yet. But I had started this project like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that. I was going to redo the Esterbrook website. I shot every pen in my collection. Every pen. Every desk set. Every desk pen. Every significant piece. And put it on a hard drive, and the hard drive got lost. Hundreds of photographs, like 700, maybe like 700, 800 photographs. So I'm thinking to myself yesterday, I say, and my daughter does her photography. She is the one who did all this photography. Yeah, ouch. And I'm thinking, some weeks it's a little thin. Like right now, like she comes in for photography on Tuesdays, right? She comes in and she shoots whatever new vintage I have, because I'm down to about 200 pieces that are kind of backlogged. And she'll shoot 20 pens a week. And if I keep yapping like this, I don't get any pens done. So, she catches up faster. Or she shoots consignment pens that come in or whatever. And I'm thinking, well, if we did, it's not feasible to have her spend, just to do it outright. So what if we did like 1 hour a week and we shot 500 pens? It doesn't take long to shoot 15, 20 pens a week. It's 35 minutes, 45 minutes max. And it's an hour of editing. So I said, well, let's let this idea percolate. And I talked with Lisa about it. She's like, yeah, well, let's do it. Let's redo the Esterbrook.net website. Let's get it up and let's get some, better information. Because I started it. I have information that really nobody knows about. And then, I have all the Fred Krinke documents where there's some really, really great stuff in there. And it's really going to be, it's going to be jumping from like 1.0 website to 7.0. I mean, it's, and I'm looking like, well, you know, I've got some images that we managed to get that didn't get lost. Not many, like 50. And then I'm looking, and I'm like, well, I know they're here somewhere, and I look for it, and I find them, and then I find this other grouping of pictures. It's not all of them, but it's about 345, I think, is the number. Now, that may include some of these other ones that we've already had edited. But I mean, even if it has, let's say there's 300 additional images. There's 350, round up. There's 350 images taken already that just need to be edited. So that process is starting immediately. So my daughter already has 350 images to edit. Hopefully they're different from the 50 that are already done, correctly sized, etc., etc., etc. And I think what's going to happen is it's, you know, whatever deliverables I get each week, that allows me time to go and, okay, now I can put them in on the appropriate pages, and we'll just start filling it out. And then once we've got those done, then we're going to start shooting what hasn't, you know, what got lost and any new additions. Since, you know, like I picked up a couple pieces that that I've never seen before in Chicago. Super cool stuff. You know, ephemera. I mean, let's do it up. Let's do it up. So anyway, I don't expect anything to really happen until, you know, once she starts giving me images, then it's like, it's go time for me. Like, I have to do something. So, and I'm not going to launch it until I have pretty much everything shot and edited and ready to go. And then, you know, I'm not waiting until it's perfect, but I have a vision of what it needs to be. So it's in the works, and it might take 6 months. You know, and maybe we launch it early. I don't know, but it's I've already got it started. It's already basically built. I just have to pop images in some text. So that is coming. You guys are the only ones that, I mean, like, I literally got this idea yesterday, and then I found these images. They're raw files too, so that's, you know, took forever to upload them to my server. But yeah, we've got 350 raw files. You could take a light box that shows and photograph interesting things without buying them. You know, honestly, there's one person that has stuff that I don't have. And of course he wants to sell it, you know, he wants to sell it to me. I'm not good at taking the pictures though. You know, and I have to have my daughter come, and, you know, I'll see if I can get some of those pens on loan. I don't know if it'll happen. Yeah, they might let me do it. So anyway, big things coming. It's going to happen this time. It's going to happen. Once the site is up, you offer to get, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's, you know, it's no secret. It's Gary Weimer. He's got a couple pieces, and he's been talking to me about selling them to me. Except he somehow, conveniently or inconveniently, I'm not sure which is the case, forgets to bring them to every show that I see him at. Now, I'm not ready to buy them from him, but I'm sure we could work something out where I could photograph them and send them back, you know. So, yeah, and absolutely, anybody who has something I don't have, deluxe Esterbrook desk sets, send them to me, and we can photograph them, and we'll get them on the website. But I want it to be a really easy. My main goal with the site, however many years ago it was when I started it, 20 years ago, more, I don't remember when I started it, 2000 something, was to make it easy for me to have all my Esterbrook information in one place. It was for nobody else. It really wasn't for anybody else. It was just for me. And then I added a little text, and then, it kind of took off, and it is what it is. So believe it or not, we are actually on version 2.0 of that website. So this new version will be 3.0 or something. But anyway, keep that amongst yourselves. And when it's ready to go live, I'll give you guys first crack at it. You guys can take a look at it. But it's gonna be months, unless all of a sudden tomorrow my daughter says, well, I had some extra time and here's 350 images. So anyway, that's fun. It's exciting. I have hope that it's going to actually happen this time. You'd like to collect Parker Duofold challengers? You have 4 so far. You need a website. You start the website. You want some challengers? I've probably got some challengers. Probably broken challengers, which is a challenge. Anyway. All right. Enough yammering on. Let's take a look what we got on the bench today. I've actually kind of been putting this off because this pen just, I'm sad to say, Matchy, you're broken too. Aren't we all in some way, shape, or form? As long as we acknowledge it, I think it's okay. We got our vest pocket. We're going to do that today. We're going to do that first off. Wedding. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're just broke. How's it going, Jason? Yeah, okay, so we got the vest pocket. We're gonna cross our fingers with and hope it goes together. I got this 51 set in cocoa I want to work on. I've got someone who wants it, so we're gonna get it done so he can have it. We're gonna do that. We got that big tray of jumbled up stuff, and I'm already tired of these Kohinoors. I thought it was a great idea, but what a pain in the butt they are. Now I got a fan that's blowing here. It's going to be real fun with this. With this talc here. All right. Okay. Your sack is blowing in the wind. Okay. Please let this be right. I love Parkers. I don't always love doing button fillers. Because I think what happened is why I hate doing these. The pressure bar bends. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Yeah, it bent and then it just cracked. And just broke in half. Eat its world. Hello. How you doing? Well, this is really not like on my... I can't imagine this is going to work. But I'm kind of running out of options here. I have to get my finger in that. Just going to kind of crip this down a little bit so it fits better in the butt. I really don't think this is going to work. But this is such a small... small pin. You got a Schaefer high gloss brown design medium point fountain pen off of eBay yesterday. The only one to bid on it, so you paid $9 total. Is that with shipping? That's a pretty good deal. I'm going to file down this end here. I really don't think this is going to work. That's no way to talk. Be positive, Brian. Believe it or not, that works. So I want to just look at it real quick. Hey, Fuzzy. How's it going? So, and I just want to check the sack now. Normally what happens is the first one or two depressions work great, and then like it stops working because either the bar bends or you put a hole in the sack. So looks good. All right, so the next challenge we have, putting this in. Making sure it works again, and then we're going to test it. And then we have to hope that the feed actually works. This is a replacement feed. And we're going to have to try to figure out how to actually get it in far enough inside this bottle to ink it up. This is too small to fit in my spinner, so I'm going to try to. And this was the sheet of paper with the other pen from the same person. So Smooth nib. Looks to work. Very small. Check this device. Oh, Pengineer. Oh, you know, I think I've seen this. Oh, yeah, I've seen that. I need to get one of those. It'll probably be in DC. Oh, you know what? I actually think they need a red one. Independence Mike is one of those. It's pretty great. I think they actually do wholesale, believe it or not, because I saw them at the new Crazy Allen's. When I was there last month. Yeah. Pengineer3D.com. Ink Station is what it's called. All right, this writes. The one caveat is I think the bar is a smidge long. So putting on the button releases some ink through the vent hole, but if you're aware of it. I just don't like changing something that I can't believe this works. I mean, it actually shouldn't work. is the funny thing. Yeah, I should make a note. And again, today I'm going like as light as possible because of the heat, so I don't actually even have my pen on me. And I probably should have, when I had this inked, I should have. I should reach out to them. If they wholesale for one person, they might wholesale for another. All right. Yeah, so you can see here, it stops. You see this little gap here? That's where there's some pressure. And if there's excess ink, it's going to come out there. But I really don't want to shorten that bar up, because the minute you shorten it up, it's going to be too short. Maybe I can get my shop's branding put on it. Yeah, we'll see. I'm going to reach out to them. I reached out to a new company today about a brand of ink that's not incredibly widely known, but it's out there. So maybe that'll work out. And I almost forgot, for all of you Vacuumatic restorers. I am picking up a new tool in DC for vacuumatic filling units. It's not something I'm going to sell, but it's a new tool, and I promised I would promote the product. I saw it actually last month when I was in North Carolina. A friend of mine had it, and I said, that's the coolest thing ever. It solves a very, very specific problem, which you may or may not ever have. But it's a cool tool, and I don't believe it's going to be all that much. So, little bit of ink on the jewel. Hopefully that'll come off or polish off, one or the other. This one should unscrew. So anyway, I'm gonna get a new tool. We're gonna talk about it. Pencil works great. Nothing to do with that. Just gonna put that back in here. So we got that to look forward to. I mean, in all reality, it's 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away. And while we're at it, anybody here going to the DZ show? I don't know what our plans are in the evenings or the afternoons, but and I'm not familiar with the show hotel at all, so pretty excited though. Lots of cool stuff happening in the next couple weeks. Maybe next year, your best friend lives in DC, so you don't have to worry about lodging. Well, that's a huge part of it, right? We haven't even gone, and Lisa's already basically committed to going next year already. I hope it meets her expectations. I hope she has fun, actually. I just really hope she has fun. She hasn't had fun at a show in a long time. That wasn't a lot of work. It's cool to go to a show and make money. It is, but I mean, it's a ton of work. I mean, you boil it down to dollars per hour, you're like, yeah, how about we stay home and have a sale? Well, it would make just as much, So she's going to be just schmoozing. She doesn't have any, she's going to be looking at products. She's going to be like a regular old Joe. I'm terrified of what she's going to spend while I'm not there. Okay, well, we got two issues going on here. One, the hood needs to come off, and two, I think we're gonna replace this sack. Well, so this is turning, which is good. The hood's not coming off. Let's see, is this the one? I can never remember if this is the right. I'm hoping it opens because I didn't have a backup plan if this doesn't open here. Because I'm just gonna have to soak and. Hey Gary, hope everyone's doing well in the heat. Yep, I got a fan today. You did a stupid today and bought some more pens to play with. They were $1 each. Well, that's not stupid. Gary, I got something cool to show you. I'll show you if I can get this hood off on this Coco 51 here. Might be a good stopping point because I can probably take the sack shroud off. Print me, yeah. Hesitate to call $1 a toy. It's stupid, yeah. I'm just checking to see if I can peel back this sack. I think I can. I'm just with my fingernail and feeling what the nipple is like. They're all vintage and no-name lever fills, so resack them and play with them. Yeah, for $1 a piece, yeah. Yeah, if it's a big crystal, maybe. If it's a vintage fountain pen, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I want to see that this is nice and hard. And it is. And I could actually see some shellac. So what we're going to do here. Since I can't get it off, we're going to soak the whole thing. We're going to drop it in the ultrasonic. Which may or may not loosen up what's going on in that hood. It usually 99, not 95 times, a couple old pencils, cool. 95 times out of 100, that will loosen it up. So we're going to drop that in the ultrasonic. But this is the part which is good. Let's get a sack ready. You got a bag full of vac and other parts yesterday? Nice. All right, so I'm going to put this and move off the side. So Gary is here, so we're going to show my acquisition from the day. My unexpected purchase. Well, not unexpected purchase, my unexpected delivery. We're not going to show all of these. But here they are. So they're all curled. We gotta flatten them. Get the bucket of water and humidify them. But these are all, and so they're all either dated like this, 1955. It doesn't tell me the stage, but it tells me, it gives me enough information that I can figure this out. Or let's see if I can find something. Yeah. Let me see if I can find something that's really outstanding. This is just half of them. Here's the other half. I thought I had these in some semblance of order, but or they have this. They have the whole summary of the stage, what's going on. How great is that? How great is that? You know, July 24th, 1951. So they're a little, some of them are a little worse for wear. But if I can quickly find them. Yeah, I mean, look at that. That's great. How great is that? Yeah, this is the first batch. This one is fantastic. This is Mont Ventoux, if you're into cycling lore. Look at that road surface. And I think, yeah, you've got Bobet, Cobley, Bartali is in here. Unfortunately, there are several like this. This really saddens me. This one in particular saddens me because I have another image, actually probably taken very close to this same spot. This is Fausto Coppi. Like there's a number of pictures of Coppi. Yeah, the tires over the shoulder looks great, and that like you automatically know, boom, it's you know. There's a number of pictures of Coppi, and they're like all out of focus, every one of them. It's ridiculous. But look at this backdrop. This is Montpellier. Yeah, it's a great picture. But I really don't, I gotta have to flatten them. There's a couple of really great images in here. This one I think for sure I'm gonna frame. That's also Coppi, but look how great that is. Look at that shot. You got the motorcycles, you got the old cars, you got the view. And this is the summit of the Izoard. Yeah, and if you don't know what I'm saying, well, it's a big mountain. You've seen this before, a similar one? Yeah. Yeah, this was July 26, 51. It's fantastic. It's really fantastic. There are actually some really good pictures of Kopi in here. You know, trying to find them on the dime, but they all have this little note here, and it tells you, you know, in French, of course, what was going on in the stage. Etc., etc. You know. So anyway, but yeah, they're seriously out of whack. Yeah, yeah. There's all sorts of famous climbs in here. I mean, some of these are just, this one's a little bit worse for wear. But yellow jersey winners, Tour de France winners, you know, the Bartoli, Kopi, Koble, Bobe. I mean, you know, they're all in here. So that's my fun. And I did a quick Google Translate on them. But the next step will be, you know, flattening them and then organizing them by stage, by year. I mean, you know, how can you not love these? They're just so great. Anyway, that's my fun. That's me geeking out. I spent like the better part of an hour and a half going through these when I got them. So, but yeah, and some of them are highly identifiable locations. So you can say, okay, well, you know, they're doing that in the tour this year, or they're not, or whatever. But you can look them up, and so. That'll be my fun for quite some time. But then I'm working on a project for the rest of my images that I have on the wall. I've created a subdomain where I keep text files. And then I've created little small QR codes that I put next to the photograph, so you can scan the photograph with your phone, and it takes you to my website, and it tells you what's going on in that photograph. So I don't have to remember, where was this taken? What year was this? What race was this? So I happened to be working on that today, and then the FedEx guy came and says, I got a package for you. Okay. Yeah, I couldn't believe it when I saw every piece is either documented on the bottom of the actual photograph, or it has that piece of paper that's taped to the back or glued or whatever it is. That has and the ones that have the paper that's taped on the back, it's like written as though it was going to appear in you know yesterday during the 128 kilometer stage to. You know, you know, Kopi did this, and he was not the winner, but, you know, he maintained the yellow jersey. I mean, it tells the story, just like it would appear in the paper, and it's really fantastic. You loved it when they used to run into cafes and steal food and wine? Yeah, right? You know, and there's a couple of, there's not too many, but there's like one or two. Yeah, it was done for a magazine newspaper, right. And they're all stamped on the back for the Intercontinental. It's just great. There's maybe one or two accident images, which is kind of interesting. But I especially love the ones that do include images of motorcycles and cars. There's a couple with like stage winners and like famous people, like, you know, one there's a picture of the stage winner and there's a famous opera singer apparently standing next to him. So anyway, that's my fun. Probably won't do anything with it until the weekend, but. And thankfully, they're incredibly difficult to find. So, that being said, it'll probably take me, I'll find another one next week. But I only want to collect originals. I don't want to collect prints. Yeah, so there's maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 pictures of Kopi, and the really clear, the ones that are clear, are either where he's not on the bike and he's before the stage or something, or he's kind of in the background and really not the focus of what's going on. He's not in the lead. You want him to be in the lead in the photograph is what you want. But you've got a picture of Kopi is like fourth in line and he's suffering bad, and you can kind of you can tell it's Kopi, but So I was really excited when I opened up the package, and the first thing I saw was the back of one of the description on the back of one of the photographs, and I saw the word Kopi. I said, "You've got to be kidding me," because there was no indication. They showed, I think, 4 or 5 out of the 184 in the auction listing. And I said, well, those were the years, Kopi he took part in 51. I thought, if I could get one or two good pictures of Kopi out of that would be great. Sadly, there's not really any great pictures of Bartley. There's a couple. And for the rest of you, if you haven't seen yesterday's stage of the Tour de France, you need to watch it immediately. It was really, really something else. Right up there with stage 6. Stage 6 was pretty good, but yesterday's stage was. And unfortunately, I was exhausted when I got home, and so I fast forwarded to the last 50K or so, and. And if you're not a cycling fan, now is the time to be one. It costs you nothing to watch. Well, I really don't like this tool. I really need to make a tool that works. This just doesn't work. So the problem is you've got a sterling silver breather tube here. You got to be careful. You can't just pull it out, because they can do and will snap off inside the feed. If you could, it would be marginally easier, not a lot, but it would be marginally easier because you don't have to tap dance around this stupid thing hanging out. I don't see much ink coming out of the collector. You wish there were a few more characters in this year's tour, like Sagan, Digant, or Cipollini? I used to be a big Cipollini fan, but I kind of soured on him. I'm like totally against men who hit women. It's not cool. And he went kind of a little psycho there for a while. Something about threatening to kill his neighbor. Something. I can't remember what it was, but he was a character for sure. I think it just speaks to how the sport has evolved over the years. I mean, Carapaz looked great yesterday. Really, really good. And then, hey, let's act like we're standing still, and then Pogacar attacks. Man, I want to see Vingegaard do to really give a little bit of a challenge, but he just, I mean, he looks so good in the Giro, so good. Yeah, domestic violence is not on. Yeah, and I hated to do it. I hated to say it, but you know what? You don't get a pass for me on that. There's no reason. I mean, not that not that a woman can't be, frustrating at times, but you don't hitting somebody is just not, it's not, doesn't solve anything. It's not cool. But his speed suits were just off the charts. Well, this doesn't want to. Come on. So we'll look to see if we've got any sealant or anything. Yeah, when he passed him, he just blew him away. He's like, hey, you know, I got extra gears you don't have, buddy. They say it's something like it took him 860 meters to make up 46 seconds. Yeah, that naked bodysuit was quite memorable, wasn't it? Or the time he came and he was the Roman chariot thing. You remember that one? I mean, what was it? He won. I mean, I remember watching live. I remember watching winning 4 stages in a row. It's just unbelievable. It was really unbelievable. 4 stages in a row, that dude. I mean, I don't think anybody done it before or done well. I mean, maybe before, but nobody's done that since. I don't care how good Pogacar is. He's not winning 4 stages in a row. All right. Well, let's soak this. I do like how easy the sack came off. In there. Crank it up. All right. Those are done. I can't believe that pressure bar broke immediately. He was always getting fined for his outfits. Yeah, he just didn't care. You know, a guy like him, 200 Swiss francs, big deal. Here you go. Big deal. I want to say, like, people are just a little too careful. I mean, not too careful. They should be careful. But, you know, Pitcock did a heck of a run yesterday afternoon. Crashing on that corner and then coming back up. You might be speaking too soon, but Vingegaard looks like a broken man. Such high expectations. He's getting smashed. Yeah. Well, I mean, I heard a little bit of the press conference he had where he had said that he had thought about retiring last winter. If that was all it was ever going to be, you know, why continue on? It's just kind of a shame that, like, I mean, not it's two angles to this, right? It's a shame that he exists at the same time as Pogacar. But if he wasn't there, yeah, Pitcock, there's a reason you wear gloves. Yeah. Yeah, that is exactly. I don't understand those guys. If Vingegaard wasn't there, the gap to second would be just off the charts all the time. Can you imagine? I just got just a little bit of what's on there. I'll see if I can get it off while we're waiting for hopefully the section to come out, or the hood to come off. Yeah, I don't understand the no glove thing. I don't always like gloves, but guarantee they have better options for gloves than us normal people do. Yeah, I want to see Pogacar get number 5. It doesn't have to be this year. It looks like it's going to be. I'd also like to see, if Vingegaard's not going to get first, he needs to get second. Although I think it's getting kind of tired of that position. I'd love to see Pogacar get 8. I think for any serious contender, 8's got to be the number. 8 makes you the greatest of all time, regardless. I mean, that's a tall ask. But until somebody gets 8, and no, I do not believe it's going to be Seixas. There's always going to be that little asterisk in the record book. That Lance technically came across the finish line first 7 times in a row. He'll break the record for stage wins, for sure. No question about it. I mean, he's at, what now, 23? 23 now? He needs 36. 13 more. If he continues to ride, I mean, he's probably going to win 1 or 2 more this year. Say he wins, he's going to win 1 more for sure. I mean, you can't tell me he's not going to win 1 Alpe d'Huez. One of the stages up Alpe d'Huez this year. Just from breathing a little extra hard. It puts him at 25. 25? 24. Okay, 24. You got to get 36, so you got to get 12 more. I mean, it's still a tall ask. He's still got to ride 3 wins a year for the next 4 years. Which puts him at the ripe old age of 31, 32. If he doesn't get bored of doing this. And if you remember, last year he was already talking about, well, retirement. Well, I think until he's ticked off Paris-Roubaix, Vuelta a España, which is going to be a no-brainer, really a no-brainer. It's not even going to be hard for him. He can do it with one arm tied behind his back or something. Vuelta a España, Paris-Roubaix, Milano-San Remo. You get those three. Then maybe we have to worry about him retiring. But he needs Paris-Roubaix. And Milano-San Remo. But I don't think he's won that yet. But he's still 400 wins behind Merckx, though. Throw that in the mix. What is he at now? 120 something? I mean, 400 wins, 20 wins a year. That's 20 more years. I mean, let's be honest, right? Sorry for you non-cycling fans who have to listen to me ramble on. It is July. That's what you get. Pen repair, Tour de France. I'm going to blame Gary because if it wasn't for Gary, we probably wouldn't be talking as much about this. Keep it up, Gary. I'm running out of things to try to take off here on this pen. Just a few things about cycling, mostly the yellow jersey, the polka dots, and the rainbow. I mixed the last two up. It's also awesome to hear someone with such a passion for hobby. Yeah. More than happy to take the blame, Gary says. Yeah, rainbow jersey. Do we think Pogacar is going to try to go for a third Worlds this year? There's a cycling blogger that did what I think is perhaps the most insane collection. And we talk about completist things, right? Talk about collecting every 40 Parker 45 in a completist fashion. This guy collected every single. So different races have different jerseys. So Tour de France has got the maillot jaune, the yellow, the polka dot, the green, the white. This guy collected one of every color of every jersey, leader's jersey, that existed. I mean, and he showed them all off in a picture once. I saw it was just insane because like in the Vuelta they don't use the yellow jersey. The leader is the red jersey. In the Giro it's pink, and then other races it's blue. Green is blue, and stuff like that. But he had every single one race worn. I think most of them were race worn, but leaders jerseys, he had them all in one fell swoop. He must live in Europe. I think he lives in Europe. He has to. I mean, there's no other way to get that stuff. You know, under normal circumstances, we would have this pen, like, we'd be writing with this pen now. I just don't, you know. Yeah, I don't know much about any other sports. But I pay a little attention to cycling. I wonder if my fan is... No. I was wondering if it was blowing the actual heat away. I just can't believe how much heat it's taken to try to get this open. I mean, it's not. It's like it's not even getting hot. Which is a testimony to Parker 51 hoods in general, because they really can take a lot of heat. I mean, I can't even. I'm not even. It's not even hot. It's too hot to hold my hand over it. Isn't there a saying, if you can't take the heat, you must not be a Parker 51 hood or something like that? Yeah, there might be. There might be. Like, I can feel the heat off to the side. Now, I'm holding onto it by the breather tube, which is probably a terrible idea, but... Okay, now we got some heat. Oh, it's hot. There we go. Wowza. Okay, back to the ultrasonic for you. He had faith in me. I don't know why that was. So difficult. All right. All right. While we're waiting for that to clean up now, I'm going to go grab a couple other pens to work on. Pencil works just fine on that one. Your initials are RGG. I have your pen. Probably shouldn't even be starting this. I got a whole tray of crap over here I got to finish up. Yeah, so I don't ever trust these when you see these and you give it a little bit of a pull and then it kind of turns white like that. That to me is a no-go. If you match 3 or more initials to a pen, can you get an Alphabet Lotto discount? Maybe. That one seems okay. I often thought about that. I'm just afraid to, like, sometimes like, oh, you know, someone's going to say, oh, yeah, well, my name is Elise H. Knight, you know. I've yet to find one with my initials. So there it is. You totally buy vintage pens that happen to have your initials? Yeah, you could do a big discount, but you never know. A few dollars off might drop you some, drop me up some business. In fact, I propose skipping the discount and whip up an initials registry. There we go. Yeah, my luck, I would find a pen that, had my initials, and it would be like a wherever or something. Stratford or something. The initials registry would be cool, though. Or something with names so that, like, maybe if you found something with your dad's name on it or your mom's name or something. Closest you've got is a Lamy ratio. The person had your last name. I actually have a search on eBay for pens with engravings with my last name, and it just doesn't. It's a very disappointing search, because it's usually like, Anderson gas station or something, in Indiana or something like that. It's just like, yeah, no. USPS making it hard for postmasters to get stamps. They're limited in what they can order, even if they have committed sales. Well, their new rules are something else, man. They went into effect on Sunday. Thankfully, not a lot of their new rules apply to me, but some of them do. So, the big one, which we'll talk about on the podcast tomorrow, the big one being that, like, I can't ship shellac priority mail anymore. New USB rules above and beyond rates. Yeah, so, like, for example, like for hazardous materials, now, of which I have 3 products, 2 of them are shellac, and the other one is thread sealant, are considered hazardous. They can get shipped via priority mail. However, if they ship via priority mail, there's like a $7.50 surcharge on top of the priority mail rate, and a $50 non-compliance fee if you don't report it and they find out, per package. Now, if you ship it Ground Advantage, former first class, no problem whatsoever. The problem is the way my system is set up, I can't assign a shipping method based on the products in the package. So, if somebody buys shellac or thread sealant, now in most cases when people buy shellac and thread sealant, it's shellac and it's like 4 sacks and a couple of J bars, and it goes Ground Advantage anyway. It's no big deal. But it has to go in a box. It can't go in an envelope anymore, because we used to ship. I've shipped tens of thousands of these in envelopes. So it has to go in a box. Okay, no big deal. But I can't, without spending, and I kid you not, $4,000 a year, I can't set it up so that when somebody puts shellac in the cart, the priority mail option no longer applies. So if you buy shellac and, 10 ink samples and 2 pens, I mean, if you buy, like, whatever you buy, if it includes shellac or thread sealant, it goes in it has to go Ground Advantage. even if it qualifies for free shipping, it has to go Ground Advantage, and I'll refund you the difference if there's a difference. But I'm not paying $4,500 a year to be able to have that functionality. It's insane. It's really insane. So thankfully, nothing else. And we were a little bit worried at first because one of the items mentioned that was hazardous was one of the words they used was inks. And Lisa looked it up. And I'm like, if we have to pay $7.50 for every package that includes ink, we'll go out of business. We will not sell ink ever again. It'd be too hard. It'd be too hard to deal with that. But apparently, fountain pen inks are okay. It's other, I don't know what other kind of inks, but and it's a $50 non-compliance fee per package if they find out. Can you set it up so that it goes in a box and make it the service you need? No, I can't. There's no way to do it. Because by default, all orders, there's if it's something that's small or considered small that could go in a first class, I use the term first class to the Ground Advantage, first class envelope or a package, then it also gives the option for priority mail because some people just want it to ship faster. Time to switch to UPS? Well, I mean, that's a lot of work to switch just because of one product. Printer ink, yeah, maybe. And a lot of people don't like UPS, and I don't like UPS just kind of leaves stuff on your doorstep. You know, at least with the mail, it goes in a mailbox. Usually. You know, and so if shellac orders got to go in a box now instead of an envelope, no big deal. A lot of Etsy sellers will get burned to the new Ground Advantage rules. Yeah. I do think they must have, I have to look, but I think they dropped some of the flat rate priority rates. Rural addresses have minimum £1 rate. Wow. They're really pushing the, it's interesting because they're really pushing the Ground Advantage stuff. All right, Fuzzy, we'll see you later. USPS is getting wild. You bought a pen almost 2 weeks ago and thought the seller hadn't shipped it. Turns out they didn't. They just didn't scan it for 4 days. And then it's gone through scan loops at a couple of distribution centers. Still waiting for it, but it's in California now, finally. Etsy practically forces free shipping to $35. Wow. That's insane. That's insane. $35? I mean, if you use priority mail shipping, it's $10. It's $10 to $14, depending on whether or not it fits in a box. And you know, most of my stuff is less than 2 pounds. So, you know, I had someone the other day, I think in California, and for me, California is really expensive to ship to. They ordered like 11 index cards. I hope it wasn't anybody here in the chat, but and nothing against it, but it was like, it weighed like 5 pounds. And it was insane. And I was like, oh, where's it going? And Lisa looked at me, she goes, California. I'm like, oh shit. I don't remember what it cost me, but you know, of course it was free shipping. Now it was more than $35, but I want to say it was like $16 or something to ship it. It's crazy. You know, 4 years ago, that would have been $7.50. but they're really pushing that 2-pound rate on ground advantage. Well, it's anything over 2 pounds, 0.1 ounce qualifies as 3. So ironically, they're going to lose money because they're not going to get it on priority mail. They're going to get it on ground advantage. So I don't know how they're making money on that. A lot of Etsy sellers sell small envelope items. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, so that doesn't work. Yeah, because if you've got to be 1 pound rural address, it's getting complicated. It's really complicated. People think it's just easy, I kind of chuckle sometimes at people on forums that are like, they seem to think it's super easy to to run a business and sell pens and ship stuff, and it's just not. It's just not. No, that's not a good sign. I think this breather tube broke. Selling at eBay is just as bad. It's always roughly 20 to 25% between fees and shipping. Yeah. Amazon saw it coming, and now they are their own FedEx equivalent. Yeah. Well, this pen is really just a not a nice pen. There we go. It's very hard to pull the feed out. So what you have to do is you have to hang on to it and then rotate the collector. And if you get the collector to move, you can do that. So, and it's good that we got this out, and sometimes people will be like, well, if it's working, why do you take it apart? And for most cases, for Parker 51s, now this sack just, it looks bad. It's, it's very hard. It's heavily stained. If it comes off, we'll replace it. If it doesn't, well then, if this end is soft and squishy, then you got what you got. But we had to take this off because now that we've taken this off and we can see, because this was partially obscured by the collector, right? There's actually a crack in the breather tube. And so this isn't going to work at all. You can't wait to be able to so you can be able to ship via Amazon? 7 days a week delivery, rates down to 2-ounce increments. Oh, now that's interesting. Now, the only problem I have with that is how Amazon always leaves my stuff. It drives me bonkers. Like, they don't even, some days, they don't even bother to come in the building. All right, well, we're just going to... Oh, that's what Amazon sellers have currently. Okay, yeah, yes. So you're not saying that they're going to offer their own, like I can connect to my website and have Amazon shipment be an option for selling or for shipping. They are planning it. Yeah, I do hate how they just drop and leave. I really hate that. And I don't, no delivery service is perfect. You throw it out there, and there's always going to be somebody who doesn't like UPS, FedEx, USPS, DHL, Amazon, you know. But yeah, Amazon, I mean, yeah, okay, so you got your positives. There's 7-day delivery. That's great, but all right, we're going to use this today. Probably. I think the deal is we got to heat this up. They never knock, but they will at least put your package behind the plant outside the door. Yeah, I mean, here's a FedEx adjacent story. So there I am minding my own business because that's how all the good stories start. I'm on the porch with the beer. I'm volunteering at your kiddo's school, directing traffic. There's also a sheriff deputy on duty helping as well. Well, there's reports from parents that some FedEx driver is cutting through the parking lot and blocking people in and saying he's a federal employee. Next day, the deputy blocks the place where he's cutting through, and they have words. All of a sudden, he's no longer a problem. Federal employee. And I've had really good luck with. I hate even talking about this because that when you talk about it is the time that something's going to happen. I've had really good luck with U.S. Postal Service. Really, really good luck. My local distribution center, every once in a while is not great. But I understand that just recently, like a couple of weeks ago, they implemented a second line. At our our Wisconsin Oak Creek distribution center, which is where sometimes you have problems. I got a package that's sitting there right now. I didn't check today, but so maybe let's try this. I'm trying to heat the back of the feed up so I can hopefully pull this out. But it didn't work. So I am going to look real quick. Make sure with the recommended All right. Okay. Thread the extractor into the end of the broken tube. Heat the hardware feed until it softens and pull gently. Which is kind of what I was trying to do, but this is threading it on. And I'll be damned if it didn't work. Look at that. Heat it. Pull it out. There it is. I just need to get it out of the extractor. All right, so there we go. We got, and those are sterling, so Amazon delivery drivers are a nightmare when out riding. Yeah, I bet. Pressure for time, they just pull out or stop without much warning. You have your stream open on Twitch and YouTube. Twitch for the streak, which is broken, and YouTube to avoid the in-stream ads. Oh. Your daughter works for USPS and her stories are a lot of fun daily. Your favorite FedEx employee was the Thing from the Addams Family movie. You know, the good ones with Raul and Julia. Here's your hack as a residential user. Send them to the local UPS store or place that can hold FedEx for me. Then go pick them up. It works for me, and I know it's not perfect or viable for everyone. May all who see or read this get all your future packages without incident. I know, right? That is the one nice thing about having a business. I just get everything shipped here. Let's throw this in. It's pretty clean, but let's throw it in the Dr. G's just for fun. It's got a little bit of ink in there. Well, you know, I haven't used this tool in ages, and I've used it more in the last week and a half, from your lips to God's mouth, yeah, than I have, you know, I had moved it out of the general assessment of tools and put it into my tool graveyard. And now I take it out, I use it all the time. Your postal carrier's got plenty of stories too. They person an amazing service. If there are missed deliveries when they're gone, they'll fix it and have an opinion. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You know, if you got someone who's, you know, especially here, you know, we've got a lot of packages that go out. You know, you treat your carrier with respect, and they do stuff for you. You know, my carrier here, she's great. She's fantastic. Always tells me when she's not going to be in. So-and-so's going to be here tomorrow. so-and-so will be here on the weekend. I'll see you on Monday. So when she comes in, she'll be like, well, say, well, hang on, I got to get, your end of day sheet, which if you don't know what that is, if you're shipping a lot of packages, the carrier's got to scan each one. But if you have a lot of packages, you can print an end of day sheet with one code, and then that scans everything in. She's like, oh, no, it's no big deal. Like, yeah, it's a big deal. Like, if it's over 10 packages, you need to make it easy for her. So, All right. While we're waiting for that to clean up, let's clean this stuff up. Back when Retro 51 was doing that collaboration with the Postal Service, we actually gave kind of a standing thing. We gave all of our carriers, over time, we gave them Retro 51s. One of them was a mail truck. I thought that was the cutest one. We gave that. I think we gave that one to a couple of our drivers or our carriers. I think that deal has run its course with Retro. So last year it was funny because so last year I gave my carrier we gave her a thank you card for Christmas. Threw some money in there. It wasn't a ton, but threw a little bit of money in there. And I was shocked when she came back like the next week. I don't remember if it was the next day or a couple of days later. She was so surprised. She wrote a thank you note for my thank you note. Like, you don't have to do that. I'm thanking you. Get yourself coffee and a 6-pack or something. I don't know. A thank you note for a thank you. Yeah, yeah. Your wife used to do a $10 coffee gift card and a package of Christmas cookies for all your regular carriers. Nice. Yeah, I think we gave her. I don't want to. You never think of it. Now she's gone. I don't want to presume somebody's, into coffee or whatever. You leave a 6-pack of beers out for the postie? I'm coming to your place. That's awesome. Yeah, I think we gave her $25. Here. Keep doing what you're doing. And then that way, when she's not there, she trains everybody else. We got one guy. Her main replacement is like super early, which drives me batty. Except if he's like here on a Friday or a Saturday, and then we're like, yeah, that'll work. Because then we get in, we ship. He picks up like early. I mean, in some cases he's like up to almost an hour early. Need to hop. All right, Dustin. Hey, thanks for chiming in. Appreciate it. If we're gonna go hit the road and get some antiques shopping in. I guess that's man. Does it look a little better? I don't know. Then it's appreciated that he's actually early. All right. Okay, this all looks nice and clean. Kind of missing something here. Hang on. I need a breather tube. Well, that extractor is nice. I am going to heat this up a little bit so I can push this in. You got kids drawing pictures on your fridge from your daughter's route? That's cute. Seems a little long, but what are Crocker black hard rubber like? Are they sought after? They're nice pens. Probably not as huge a group of collectors as other pens, but Mm. This is the most difficult 51 I've worked on in I don't know how long. Like, there's nothing about this pen is easy. Nothing. Like, if I can get this feed to go in like another 3 millimeters, this is a terrible idea. Sometimes you got to push the feed in first. If it's tight, get the feed in all the way, all the further it's going to go, and then you can put in your nib. Firehead better be well. He's a good guy. I mean, it'll be the first $400 Coco 51 in the world, but you know, just kidding. I think it's going in any further. I'm going to do it just a test fit here because okay, so this will work. This sack, which was a replacement, um, was cut short. Yeah, Coco's a great color. It's one of my favorites. It's one I don't have in my collection. I was thinking about keeping this one. You know how that goes. I think I think if I were gonna get a Coco though, I want one with a gold fill cap. I think the gold and after all this effort, maybe we should keep it as a trophy. I think the gold looks better on the pen than the Lustraloy does. You love it, but every time you show it off, everyone hates it. Clearly, people have no taste. Lighting definitely makes a difference in what the color looks like. Yeah. All right, we're gonna let that dry before we screw this on. We could probably do this now. No, we're gonna wait. I'll leave that on because I'm gonna have to screw it on anyway, so we can see where we're gonna end up with that. All right. Well, we can ultrasonic this and spin this out. Yeah, normally they're not this hard. Here it is. It's 4:30 already, for heaven's sakes. For 151. In that silly vest pocket. All right, so that was not very old ink. All right. That'll be a good way to end the week up. Finish that guy. Yeah, nothing about that was easy, was it? Already did that, didn't I? All right, we need a large O-ring, 15 at least. Actually, that one. We use a 17. I'm going to see if I've got a different one of those. A little bit of shrinkage in the barrel. Make sure that that hole is cleaned out. Again, this pen was supposed to have been restored, so I didn't like the look of the sack, so we're just going to replace everything. Always replace everything. I heard tales of a long time ago of a certain repair person, and I don't know who it is, who would restore snorkels and touchdowns, but he wouldn't always replace. He would replace the sack, but wouldn't always replace, the gasket and the O-rings, because then he could charge him for a service the next time around. Like, totally, come on. If you got that much time that you're going to be restoring pens twice. And I don't know who it was. Even if I did, I wouldn't name names, but yeah, super shady. Slim shady. Um, let's see if I've got a trim ring here. Always the piece that you got to replace. Man, that one doesn't have it either. But that's a nicer. Nicer thread. That one doesn't have it either. Well, there we go. Much better. Boy, is this not coming off easy. It's coming. Just a little bit more, and I think this will be. Let's try a little heat. That's what we want right there. Pretty soon I'm just going to give up here. What do I need? I need something I don't have. Time to improvise. This way. It was a lot harder than that needed to be. Normally they just come off. Yeah, like that just went right on. All right. I'm going to close this up. All right. Tomorrow, should we have put this 51 together, give it a test, clean it up. We'll test this touchdown. Put that back together. Seal it up. Doing that thing where it likes to slide off the nipple there. So we'll watch that. We'll test this guy. We'll see how that works. That looks probably okay. And then maybe we'll get back to the other tray of stuff that I really don't want to work on. So, all right, we are at 10 minutes to 5. Supper time. See you tomorrow. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna wash up and get ready to go home, and we'll go from there. So, thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a great rest of your afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. Thanks for having us. Yeah, you betcha. You betcha. Be kind, be well, and we'll catch you tomorrow, all right? Take care, everyone. Bye now.